G'day guys, this is Rob from Troutlore.com.au, Australia's fly tying specialist store. Today we're at the very start of Victorian trout season. The rivers are high and dirty, although not perhaps as high as we would like. With the Goulburn River having its annual environmental flow, we're going to see large sections of grass covered with water and fish feeding on worms. So today we're tying an earthworm style pattern. Let's get started. We are coming in with a DOHIKU 644 grub hook, and on that we've placed a 1/8 of an inch tungsten bead in a rainbow colour. You can use any colour you like, but I find the rainbow is one of those great colours when the fish just aren't eating. It seems to do the trick, and most of it's going to be buried anyway. You'll see when we finish the product. So with some 70 Denier UTC thread in white, because we don't really want colour to show through on this, we're just going to start tying from the eye to about halfway down the hook shank. Then we'll slide our bead up, holding it in position. We bring our thread to the far side of the bead and then put in a few wraps just to lock that in place so it's sitting in the middle. We can then run our thread down into the curve of the hook, but not too far down. And for the body, we're using Ultrachenille here in the tan. We can do this in the tan, pink, orange, all sorts of colors, but we're going to do a lighter one today. We'll do some different worms later on, but this one is going to be tan today. We're going to start off with the lighter and just singe the rear of that, and then I'm going to take about a hook shank and a half, and that's our tie-in point, and place a couple of wraps around that, and then one wrap around the hook shank to lock that in place. And then again we'll take about that same amount and trim that off at the front end, just so that excess is out of the way, and give that a singe with the lighter too to round that off. At this stage we'll just bring our thread up to the rear of the bead. We'll take some PlastiZap and we'll just put tiniest of drops on the hook shank and across the top of that bead there, just to lock that chenille down in place. Then we do a wrap in just behind the bead, lock that off, bring our thread forward to capture it around the hook shank, and a wrap in front of the bead, lock that off, and just fold that up like so. We're not going to cinch down the front just yet. Before we do that, we're going to make that central section of the worm that usually has an alternating colour. We use some Antron dubbing here in the claret colour from Veniard, which is actually quite a light claret colour and comes in very similar to the bloodworm red that you find in the squirmy wormies. So it's a good colour for this. Just going to take the smallest amount and start building up a nice fine noodle. Because we're using the white thread, it actually lightens out that dubbing even more and allows us to control how dark it is with the amount of dubbing we put on there. So we're just going to figure eight in and around that bead. We want to cover up that bit of chenille on top essentially. So we just keep wrapping around until that's all taken care of, and then back and forth either side, finishing up with our thread at the front edge of it. Pull that chenille back, bring the thread up to the eye, and then a final wrap twice around the chenille, once underneath, and then we can come in and do a couple of 2 or 3 turn whip finishes in there. Lock that in place. Trim off the excess just to make sure that that doesn't go anywhere. With our bodkin, we're just going to come in and put a drop of head cement either side of the eye, and there you have it. A very simple little worm pattern, very effective. Looks like a natural earthworm, has that nice tungsten bead in the middle and a big barbless hook underneath, so you're going to get an easy hook up and you're going to stay set with that nice curved hook in there. Either way, tie yourself up a few, get out there and catch some fish. As always, happy tying.